In this video, I will demonstrate how I utilized the Virginia Professional Teaching Standards and High Leverage Practices Crosswalk during our observation of Mr. Budimir. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So as you can see, this is the actual Virginia Professional Teaching Standards and High Leverage Practices Crosswalk in Microsoft Word. So on the left-hand column, you'll actually see all 8 of the professional learning standards from standard 1 all the way to 8, as well as on the right-hand column, the aligned high leverage practices or HLPs that align to each professional standard. So for this specific observation, I focused my attention on standards 1, 3, and 5. Obviously, depending on the type of observation, the focus of the observation may differ. So starting at professional standard 1, I noted specifics regarding explicit instruction or HLP 16. This was a small group targeting specific skills, and I noted Mr. Budimir's use of consistent and clear language that explains what he expected of the students, as well as providing multiple opportunities to respond corally and independently, as well as providing timely positive feedback. Take a look at your notes that you took during this observation. What did you notice? Also, within this tool, you can see hyperlinks to rubrics that can also be used as a supplemental tool to work with teachers or to pull verbiage to utilize for teacher feedback. For example, if I wanted to pull HLP 16 explicit instruction rubric, so I already have it pulled up right here. I could look across these categories and determine Mr. Budimir's effectiveness within this observation. Now, given this was a very short time frame, this might not be the most appropriate tool, but I just wanted to provide you an example. So, for example, the we do and you do, so this guided practice here, so we do and you do, and teacher feedback, we could read the descriptions and determine where we believe Mr. Budimir fell within. The observation, for example, for feedback on this column right here, teacher feedback, we were able to really see how Mr. Budimir utilized immediate, constructive, and positive feedback. So I would really think that he would fall within this effective or highly effective range. So again, you could utilize this rubric to use when you're actually having these post-conference conversations with teachers, or really just utilizing the verbiage from these areas. Next, for performance standard 3 for instructional delivery, I noted the care that Mr. Budimir took to review routines and expectations to reinforce a positive learning environment. I observed Mr. Budimir utilizing gestures and changing his intonation and tone during instructional delivery. Additionally, knowing this is a scripted program, this could be delivered in a much less engaging way, but we are able to see the excitement these students had for math. Additionally, it was important to note Mr. Budimir kept a swift pace that was appropriate for the students while providing immediate and positive feedback. Now look at the notes that you took during the observation. What would fall within this standard 3 instructional delivery? And lastly, for standard 5 learning environment, I noted similar observations to the other 2 standards, including reinforcement of positive behavior supports, feedback, as well as really the positive interactions between Mr. Budimir and the students that weren't a positive learning environment. For this standard, I'll show you another rubric that I would use a post-observation conference for, or even just the write-up in and of itself. So I'm going to show you HLP number 8 and 22. So this rubric. So this rubric, again, if you look across the columns, it gives you different types of directives as well as the ratings from ineffective to highly effective. So if we were specifically looking at feedback is immediate, for example, we could look at each kind of description of each category and make a determination of where we would think that Mr. Budimir would be. So again, similarly to the other rubric in terms of HLP 16, I would say between effective and highly effective. Again, this is only a snapshot of an observation, but what we saw, in my opinion, was strong. So we could definitely utilize feedback as immediate. And again, you might not be able to hit every category with the type of observation that it is. But again, this is definitely a supplemental tool that you can utilize in addition to the crosswalk. So again, thinking about your own notes within the observation, what were some noticings that you had that could fall within this standard?